Even with the CPI trending downwards, it still doesn't mean that Americans get instant relief. A stimulus check, that is instant direct relief. But with the slow and painful process that we've been going through right now, many Americans are starting to wonder how things will be in the near future. Robert Kiyosaki, author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, he is the latest expert to warn Americans. And he's saying that 50% of us will be wiped out tomorrow if inflation continues to be as hot as it is today. Do you guys agree with Robert Kiyosaki? Drop a quick comment, yes or no, down below. Also, interest rates continue to pour on, and with more households holding on to dear life and just swiping their credit cards to survive, many may be left economically broken before this economy recovers. Do you think things will be getting better in 2023, or will it become even worse? Hit me up in the comments down below. For your daily dose of the truth when it comes to the US economy, the stock market, fourth stimulus package updates, passive income, social security, and everything that's going on in Washington, D.C. that affects your bank accounts and your lives, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Also, if you own a home, make sure your home is protected. Get your free home warranty quote. The link is in the description down below. Now, we're starting strong today because I read this article titled, "Let's Cut Through the BS About the Economy Right Here and Now," end quote. Yeah, talk about getting your attention, right? Well, it talks about the current positivity that we're seeing in it with regards to economic data. We're seeing it in the stock market. Retailers, Home Depot, Target, Walmart, they're all showing signs of green. The three main indexes, NASDAQ, S&P 500, and the Dow Jones, they're all showing much more promise. And is it really just on the shoulders of a possible Fed pivot that the Fed plans on slowing down because inflation's starting to cool off? Now, I'm sure some would speculate that the economy is finally getting back on its feet and we're in for better times. But here's something that we can ponder on. Housing, food, and gas prices, they continue to go up. Now, if you think about it, what part of that is good for our economy? Seriously. And also, I've been talking to you guys about the thousands of layoffs that are happening right before Christmas, right before the holidays, which should be the busiest time of year. Now, if the economy was actually getting better, and if these huge companies were seeing so much more demand, then why are they downsizing? It's confusing, right? So on the one hand, we're being told that, the economy is doing great, the plan is working. You guys, you don't have to worry. While we visit our local stores and we spend so much more just to get even less. So here's what Robert Kiyosaki said about our current situation. When inflation goes up, we're going to wipe out 50% of the US population, end quote. Now, I don't think that he was talking about fatalities, but instead, this may be an economic wipeout. That I could actually agree with. Look at this next one where it says that interest rates on retail credit cards are becoming crazy high, with some that are topping 30%. 30%. I mean, just thinking about the number gives me chills. How are households who are now relying solely on Visa credit cards and American Express credit cards, how are they going to survive? I mean, that's just crazy, guys. This is going to destroy households, especially those who are on survival mode right now, and more so for people that continue to apply for more credit cards when they can't even afford to pay for the credit cards that they already have. I mean, what do you think that this is going to do your credit score, your FICO score? Have any of you guys pulled your Experian, Equifax, or TransUnion credit score recently? I mean, you can't party until the end. You can't put cash out right as it goes in. Your cash flow is terrible if that's the case. Now, unless, of course, you have a business and you're a successful entrepreneur, then you can pretty much swipe away because you have the capability to pay off that debt every single month, assuming you have high enough revenues to cover those expenses. But if you're on a fixed income, then you're in trouble. The average rate on a credit card is almost 20% today. Now, if you see this trend and you're thinking that 2023 is going to be better than 2022, I'm going to have to respectfully disagree with you. Now, I know that a lot of us are banking on the idea that, the new year bringing in better days, but that could only happen if we start to prepare for even tougher economic times. Now, if you have debt today, credit card debt, car loan debt, whatever the case may be, start thinking about how you're going to pay it off. It's not going to be easy, but it's not entirely impossible. If you have a job, then great. If you don't, you might want to find ways on how to make money, maybe even try to create some kind of online business, maybe make some money online, pick up a second job, maybe work some overtime, side hustles like t-shirt printing, print on demand, Amazon FBA, perhaps even running a social media marketing agency. I know several people today that are charging anywhere from $2,000 to $3,000 just to manage businesses Facebook and Instagram accounts. You guys hit me up in the comments down below if you regularly use Facebook and Instagram, but would like to use those platforms to make money from them. Let me know in the comments down below. There's definitely still optimism for stimulus checks, and this is crucial for those who haven't received their stimulus checks. They may still be able to do so by filing a simplified tax return. Now, keep in mind, these stimulus checks are still available to millions of Americans, but you only have until 11:59 at the end of this week to complete them. Stimulus checks have proven time and time again to have a huge breath of relief for households across the country, and even without the federal stimulus checks, some states are giving out their own version that are taken from their stimulus budget provided from previous stimulus check packages. Now, I'm pretty sure that the younger generation could use a lot of additional help nowadays, because I read this one article. It said that inflation is now driving more than half of Gen Z to go back and live with their parents. So Gen Z, these are people within the 18 to 25-year-old age bracket, and 80% of them believe that the economy will either stay the same or be worse by 2023. And it's also the same generation that is worried about having to pay their bills on time. So question is, how did we get here? It is really hard to see all of these people struggle day by day, and I really wish that more can be done for them and for all of us for that matter. Now, I'm going to end this video with a very important warning for everyone. And if you care about your loved ones and your friends, I suggest you share this message with them. Just recently, a third railroad union has rejected the labor deal that was offered to them. That's right, the railroad unions are rejecting the deals.
Another issue, you were deeply involved in the 11th hour negotiations that averted narrowly a rail strike just last month. That deal now being rejected by one of the unions themselves, others considering possibility of a rail strike. Do you think railroads now need to sweeten the deal to avoid a strike, or do you want Congress to act?
No, my goal right now is to get the unions who two unions have rejected the deal. My goal is to get those two unions back at the table with companies and get this thing done. I mean, the best thing we can do is avoid any type of rail strike or slow down on the rail. We have 6 agreements that have been voted on in the affirmative by unions that passed it. We have 4 deals that are still out there. We're going to be getting the results hopefully in the next week or so. The members are voting on it. We have 2 that got voted down. It's imperative that the companies and the unions stay at the table and try and get a deal so we can get that vote out there. At the end of the day, if we don't have a deal, one of these unions for some reason doesn't get to an agreement with the company, then the way that the Railroad Act works is Congress will have to take action to avert a strike in our country. I personally think the best way to do it is by doing it at the bargaining table and not having taken action by Congress.
But if need be, you're saying you would ask Congress to take action?
They'd have to. That's part of the act. That's part of their responsibility. Just like the president has the power to put in a presidential emergency board, which he did, to come up with get this negotiation restarted, which the president did. If it wasn't for President Biden, we probably would have been shut down months ago.
And so this means that there is an even bigger chance of 110,000 freight railroad workers to go on strike right before the holidays. That's coming up in less than a month, guys. And if you know how goods get around the country, then you would realize just how important this is to you and for me. Not only are we in danger of seeing our shelves empty, but it could be Target, it could be Walmart, it could be Costco. Whichever one if these strikes happen, it's going to be impossible to rely on one place to have everything that we need. The message today is simple and it's clear. Prepare today. Don't prepare tomorrow. Don't prepare next week. You need to start preparing today. So what are your thoughts on this, and how are we going to cope if we do see goods in short supply soon? Now, I'm looking forward to whatever ideas you guys have. I really hope that you guys share some information with me in the comments down below. And while you guys are down there, make sure to smash the thumbs up button if you're new to the channel and you want to keep updated with everything that matters to you regarding our economy and your bank account. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, because if you want the truth, y'all know where to get it. I appreciate you guys watching. You guys are all awesome. This is Ron. I wish you good health and better days to come. I'll see you on the next one.